Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna do the well met this time because we've met you way too many times for any good to happen.
No, let me do it. Well met.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna be back again. Unfortunately, I did make a little bit of mistake. We are still gonna be continuing the group stages here because there is this one match to finish up. We're gonna be seeing Zeys versus Xinhuan, and Zeys, we did watch him earlier, and man, did he show us a spectacular performance with that Warlock thing.
Definitely.
It's pretty insane. I mean, his Druid deck died, but it's kind of interesting to see that he was able to come back with the Warlock.
Warlock double tap.
Exactly. Anyways, let's just jump really quickly into the game here. Xinhuan?
Xinhuan,
yeah, okay,
yes.
Xinhuan, sorry for my mispronunciation there. Versus Zeys, so this definitely is probably going to be a pretty good match. Zeys, he had a couple of rocky start in the early stages, but I think he kind of got his footing back because he started playing his Warlock deck, and I think that seems to be his go-to kind of, I guess you could say, deck to win games. And wow, look at it! Zeys again bringing out the first Druid. So we actually saw this earlier, and this is going to be a mirror. Let's take a quick look at Xinhuan's hand, though. He actually has a Starfire, Healing Touch, Swipe, and Big Game Hunter. And what do you think you should mulligan in this kind of situation?
Well, definitely not Starfire. Definitely not Healing Touch. Big Game Hunter, you can mulligan that as well. Keep the Swipe. The Swipe is good.
Swipe's good. So
Swipe's good.
mulligan everything except the Swipe.
Well, Swipe is debatable, but I'll keep it. I'll keep Swipe.
As for Zeys' hand, he does have a Sylvanas, a Blood Mage, and the Druid of the Claw, and it seems like he wants to mulligan the Sylvanas and the Druid and keep the Blood Mage. So what do you think about that, though?
Well, that is a wise choice to do that, since Sylvanas is too high of a mana cost to play early game, so as Druid of the Claw. Blood Mage can always combo it with Wrath for early game dominance. Yep.
Well, we're gonna see what happens. Both the players have mulliganed their cards. You look over at Xinhuan's side, his starting hand, he's going to get a Shattered Sun Cleric, Druid of the Claw, Swipe, the Azure Drake, and of course the coin. And as for Zeys here, he does actually top deck a Innervate, but not going to use it anytime soon because he doesn't really have any tree mana. He does have a Wrath, the Blood Mage, so mostly spells, I guess. The only creature he has is that Blood Mage, Thalanos, and I don't think he's probably going to use that. In fact, he's going to attack here in this kind of situation, and the turn, and it's going to be down to Xinhuan. He does have the coin, which means he can actually coin into something else, but I don't think there really is any reason to coin the
Coin Worgen would be a good choice.
Oh yeah, actually he did top deck that Worgen, so that could definitely be a possibility here. Looks like he wants to do it. Oh, having a little bit of trouble with coin there.
Yep.
Coin coming out with the Raging Worgen. Oh!
Raging Worgen, definitely.
Yep,
man.
so Raging Worgen going to be coming out here, and that means now that that's a hefty creature to deal with.
Yep.
There is though a Wrath here, which can by all means deal 3 damage. Yep, he's going to choose the 3 damage here. Going to easily cancel it out, which means
the Worgen.
yeah, Reap. So left with only a 3 drop of that Shattered Sun. Well, he does at least top deck a Harvest Golem, so he's probably going to be playing that this kind of situation and just ending the turn here. What do you think is the response to be had? Do you think even something that can Innervate? Yeah, at least 2 Innervates now, wow.
Well, he's probably going to save the 2 Innervate for something larger than that. But he has no good play here. We might see an Innervate into a Sylvanas.
Yeah, it seems like the possibility. Yeah, you're pretty much on the ball there. Savannah's going to be coming out here, and that just means he can trade very, very efficiently against this Harvest Golem, even if it's going to respawn, because you can always ping it off with his hero power.
Yep.
And he does top deck another Harvest Golem here. I mean, he always has the Shattered Sun to help and boost it up a bit, I guess you could say. What play do you think is better? Would you say it's the Harvest, or would you say it's the Shattered Sun in this situation?
I'll definitely go for the Shattered Sun. Things like Sylvanas, you don't want to deal with her later in the game where you have high value monsters, high value minions out. You want to deal with it when you have early game that can easily die to your AoEs.
Right. Okay, so it seems like he's taking a little bit of consideration here whether he wants to throw out the Shattered Sun or the Harvest Golem. But it seems like he's, I guess he's in tune with you, man. So it seems like, yeah, he's going to go ahead and buff up his Harvest Golem there and just trade it. He's gonna trade it, yes.
I'll definitely go for face.
You definitely go for face?
Yes, it's gonna die, man. At least make it work for a while.
Oh well, it seems like he is gonna go for the hit onto Sylvanas there. He does top deck a Claw, but he's just gonna go with the Sylvanas. He's actually gonna get good value out of that because he's gonna get the Shattered Sun right now. So that was actually kind of a mistake on the part of Xinhuan there. Shouldn't have actually done that. He now has 2 armor and just deals damage again to the face, and that's a free minion for him at the cost of pretty much
An ex-wife.
an ex-wife. Exactly, that ex-wife. But look at this, a top deck ex-wife of his own. Well, was it the top deck? I didn't catch that actually.
It's not. It wasn't the top deck. It wasn't
yeah.
exact.
So the ex-wife of his own is there. I mean, he can by all means can actually. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and use the claw here.
And sacrifice it. Yep.
Yeah, he's
Wise
gonna
play here.
sacrifice it, making sure that Sylvanas doesn't get any mob coming out from himself. He's gonna go ahead and use the hero power and get the armor into himself. And by all means, yeah, he's gonna end the turn. He knows that he doesn't really have much. In fact, he doesn't have much minions. It's a lot of spells in the hand of Zeys right now. And Xinhuan, he actually top decked a healing touch here, so I don't think he's that worried about the later stages of his game. It seems like he was thinking of the Druid of the Claw, but what would you actually prefer to throw out at the 6 mana cost turn?
Well, 6 mana cost turn for Xinhuan, right? Let's see. 6 mana cost turn. He doesn't have not a lot of choices there. I guess Druid of Claw is one of his best top deck he can get. It's one of the best cards he can play on turn 5. Unless he has an Innervate, but his deck doesn't run any Innervate, so yeah, Druid of the Claw. But instead, he goes for Azure Drake.
Yeah, it seems like he just wants to quickly draw cards very quickly. He does have another Azure Drake, which he got from that card draw. But you look at the hand now of Zeys here. Now he has a choice. He does have the Druid of the Claw. He can play it by all means if he wants. He can also claw and use his hero power if he wants as well. But it's I guess he finds more value in it. He's definitely gonna go for the taunt play and gonna whack face for 1 damage.
Yep.
But it's still 1 damage, man. Either ways. And I mean, just looking at Xinhuan's deck right now, he does have that form damage because of the
That's top
Drake.
deck, man.
Yeah, so that could actually be a very, very good possibility here. There is also a swipe on the board available that would defy damage and still allow him to use the hero power and ping it. But
yeah, but if it does that, right, it ultimately can't play anything good. So I guess the best play here is to Wrath.
But it seems like he's gonna go for a taunt of his own. So a mirror image right there. It seems like he's thinking of that. He's thinking of wrapping it.
Wrap for 2.
He's gonna do the 2 damage. Yeah.
Draw a card.
So a lot of card draw here, and he still has the Azure Drake in hand. So by all means, he's in a really, really good spot. Acidic Swamp Ooze is there. That really doesn't have much effect on both these heroes. So he definitely can play that as a minion. But looking at the hand now from Zeys, he did get a Harvest Golem there. He does still have the Innervate, so there's a lot of combinations he can go for. He does have to face this Manipulator for that taunt if he wants to go for it.
Well, I guess we'll definitely see a fictional manipulator into a Druid of the Claw, so we can get the board presence back. Well, 5 mana for a 4/6 and 5 mana for a 4/6 is the same thing.
Yeah, I guess in a sense, but
and you still can play a Harvest Golem on top of that.
That's very true. That's very true. Indeed.
So even if he rammed his Druid of the Claw into his Druid of the Claw.
Actually, he's gonna go for the better player.
Wow.
The Starfire with the Blood Mage Thanos. That's actually gonna do a lot for him.
The thing is this, it does clear off the threat immediately, but it doesn't present a lot of mob presence. I mean, it dies to a hero power.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, well, it dies, but he does get a card draw in a sense, so I guess he's banking on the fact that he's going to use it. There is still a lot of card draw in hand. Well, not really a lot, but that one Azure Drake that's still in Xinhuan's hand, which by all means he can still go for it. He's actually going to go ahead and claw, and not claw, sorry, use his hero power, the shapeshift, quickly taking out the Blood Mage Thanos. The card that he just got there is actually Healing Touch, a golden one in fact. It's just going to go ahead and throw out some small minions here. The Acidic Swamp Ooze as well as the Harvest Golem, so still kind of value there. He does get minions on the board. Really, really good for him.
That is better than playing the Azure Drake.
Yep. And actually the Black Knight comes a little bit tad too late. If he had it in the previous round there, he wouldn't have to worry too much about that Talanos as well as the Starfire. So seems like he's going to go for a Claw in this kind of situation. Probably going to use his hero power as well. And trade off probably the Ooze? Or do you think the Harvest Golem?
Ooze. Definitely Ooze. Since the Harvest Golem doesn't die to another Harvest Golem.
Yeah, I guess. And in fact, in this kind of sense, the Harvest Golem, if he does whack face, he's not going to take any damage. 2 armor is still up available on him. He's actually at this 9 cost turn already. He has Innervate, so he can draw decent cards here. But look at this. It seems like it's a Claw. And he's going to go for the face. Oh, well, not the face, but the Harvest Golem instead. It's going to spawn 2-1, and his Harvest Golem is going to clear it off. So again, board control still in favor of Xinhuan, and out comes the Azure Drake.
Yep.
That's another
card draw.
Yeah, another card draw, and that's a Shattered Sun Cleric. So again, the board is definitely in favor of Xinhuan right now.
Well, another play he could have done was use Keeper of the Pillar of the Groove, silence the Harvest Golem, and then kill it with the Claw and Hero Power. So it doesn't summon on the 2/2.
Yeah, actually that's pretty true, and he would also have that 2/4 minion on the board. So, well, I guess he does have a silence now to kind of cancel out this taunt here being played by the Druid of the Claw.
But look at that top deck.
But yep, oh, but that Starfall, yep, exactly. You have your Drake on the board. Is he gonna spend the 5 mana here? I think probably that's the best idea for him. He can always use his Shatterstone Cleric for more buffs onto his Azure Drake, or maybe even the Harvest Golem if he wants to. But I think it's probably gonna be that Azure Drake.
Yes, so it wouldn't die to another swipe. Yep.
Yeah, swipe of course is very annoying. So in this kind of situation, there you go. That's a 5/5 Drake now. He's gonna hit face and as well
hero
as
power
the
as
gold,
well.
yeah, exactly, and the hero power. So dealing a lot of damage this turn against Zeys, and Zeys is, or Zeys, or how we're gonna say, he's actually in a tough spot. I mean, he does have a healing touch, but that's pretty much about it. I mean, he can by all means go for a faceless for the Azure Drake and the Wrath if he wants to for the added card draw. But I think he's just oh, actually, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. I think he's thinking that maybe he could, copy the Azure, do the Wrath on the tree to draw a card, and hero power. Yeah, I think that's probably his play. Do you agree?
I guess he has no choice, and it's a 5 mana for a 5/5.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't lose much value from that.
Exactly. So he's gonna go for the card draw here. That's gonna probably give him. Let's see, what is he gonna top deck here? It's a Keeper of the Grove, so that's pretty decent, of course. Seeing as to how he can always silence off that added, what do you call it, spell damage.
Yep.
But of course there's a swipe in this situation, and an Ancient of Lore, which is just top deck. So what do you think Xinhuan's thinking right now?
In this situation, I would definitely swipe, seeing it's already late game, and board presence is much more important than ever.
So I guess, yeah, well, Ancient of Lore, what does it do exactly? I mean, it does two things, right?
You get card draw or you heal for 5.
Exactly. So I think he's thinking of card draw, but I guess in this kind of situation, I definitely agree with you on the fact that he should just probably swipe. I mean, he still
or even
deals.
silence will do better.
Yeah, exactly.
You
so,
can silence it and trade for free.
There we go. He's gonna silence the minion. That's gonna be a 4/4. He's gonna trade it, but even then, if he uses his hero power, he's gonna be still taking 5 damage to the face. So that's really, really good for him. He's gonna go ahead and use the shapeshift here and deal a little bit more extra damage now, bring him down to 20. So Zeys, again, even more on the back foot right here. It seems like his Druid deck doesn't really have as much presence as the Warlock deck is.
Top deck zone.
But he top decked that swipe, and that's gonna be perfect here. Down goes both minions. That's actually very, very good there. Much value. He's gonna go and hit the face right there. Gotta keep the Keeper of the Grove for that silence. It seems like, yeah, he's probably just gonna heal, just to get his HP back up, and just gonna end the turn over there. And as for Xinhuan though, he top decks a Fairy Dragon. I guess that's another good mob to have, but I mean,
definitely go for card draw first. Yep.
Yeah, so gonna go for the card draw. He does get a Druid of the Claw and a Claw as well. So what is it? Druid of the Claw, and he's gonna go ahead and use the Fairy Dragon here, and just
pass.
They're pass. I mean, they're in slumber. They're tired. They have to fight every day. Come on, they need rest. Another swipe though that was just gotten by Zeys here. He's actually gonna go ahead and kill off.
Actually, that was questionable.
In what sense?
I would have just deal 2 damage to the Ancient of Law, swipe the Law, and then hero power and kill off the Fairy Dragon, and remain at 2/4.
I guess that's also that's definitely a fair point there. But look at this. Now Xinhuan did top deck an Ancient of War. Now the thing is, he can always choose to be 5 attack or 5 health and taunt.
Yes.
And in this kind of situation, I think he's probably thinking he wants more. He wants to taunt, right? So, but the thing is, you look at the hand of Zeys, he has the Blight Knight, and the Blight Knight's pretty much a good counter against taunts. And in this kind of situation, he only has. Well, I mean, he does have another taunt.
Yeah, 2 taunt.
So.
But the ultimate question is, which taunt does he play?
Exactly. Yeah. Now that's a very good question indeed. He's gonna just go ahead and trade here because he knows that he's still definitely in favor of the board. He's thinking of playing the Druid of the Claw. He can by all means get the charge, but I think he's gonna go for the taunt here.
Yeah.
Kind of baiting out. I guess in a sense it's a good bait against the Black Knight because he has another Ancient of Law, which is even much more stronger as compared to the Druid of the Claw.
Well,
here.
he doesn't necessarily know that Zeys runs a Black Knight,
Yeah.
but a 4/6 ultimately has more value than a 4/4.
Exactly. So yeah. So
There
the
we
Black
go.
Knight comes out, and the thing is, I bet you Xinhuan's laughing to himself now because he's like, you know, probably rubbing his hands and saying, "Yes, come on,
Finally."
Ancient of War." And yeah, I mean, in this kind of situation, he can also trade with the Black Knight and still regain board control. But of course, he has a taunt, so he doesn't necessarily need to do that. There is that Nat Pigel right now in Z's deck. Is he gonna go for the swipe? Do you think?
Well, he definitely has to go for swipe if he wants to play Nat.
Yeah. So he's gonna play the Nat. He goes for the swipe. So the
RNG wasn't in his favor.
yeah, the Black Iron is at least gonna survive. So that's a good thing there. But there is 2 swipes currently in hand for Xinhuan. What do you think he's gonna do?
Well, even if you play Keeper of the Groove and silence Napel, it's ultimately not going to get much thing done. I think the best play here is to go Ancient of War, but instead it's going to go for swipe. Is he going to go for double swipe?
I mean, double swipe would clear the board, but it just means he can't play anything. So
Yeah.
he's thinking about it. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and silence Napigel, but well, I guess it's kind of good in this situation because Zeys is down on cards and every card draw counts for Zeys right now.
So he has to swipe in this instance to save his minion. You have to swipe Hero Power and kill off the Black Knight.
Yeah, for sure. Are we gonna see the swipe here? I do believe it's definitely gonna happen.
At this point,
I
that's the
think-
only thing you can do.
Yeah, I think that's really the only thing he can. Gonna go ahead and clear that off. Wouldn't you have actually rather seen him? Well, actually no, that was a 4/5 minion.
4/5
yeah,
minion.
So yeah, it couldn't work with the claw. Anyways, look at this. Ancient Teachings, outcomes of 2 draws, the Tink Master Overspark and a Novice Engineer, so at least he gets a little bit more card draw here in this kind of situation, and he doesn't need to worry too much about the board. There goes the other Novice, so a little bit more card draw, kind of getting him back in the game. Unfortunately, the top deck of the Big Game Hunter is not going to be effective here for Xinhuan. It doesn't really kill off a 5/5.
Yep.
He does have still the swipe available, which by all means can actually be used again. I think is probably the best choice here in this kind of situation. He can always kill off the Ancient Walker with his hero power.
Well,
but
if he cuts this right, he will be in a terrible mess. Since Zeys has the Tink Master Overspark.
yeah, but the thing is, he doesn't really know that. So
Yep.
it seems like it's probably going to be in favor right now of Zeys because, yep, I do believe the Think Master Overspark is definitely going to come into play against this Ancient Walker.
Definitely. I mean, even if you get a 5/5, it's still better than getting a 5/10.
And a taunt, which is really, really annoying. And plus, he has a Sunwalker here, so so he actually gets a keeper. He might, so he's thinking of actually
Silence and trade.
silencing it. He can, he's gonna trade it, but do you think he should have just Think Master Overspark there?
Well, even if you trade it right, the best play here was to Tinker Master your net pale and see what you get.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, it is practically a useless card now,
Yep.
and
But
it's kind of a waste of space.
ultimately, he went for hero power.
Kind of questionable decisions for sure, but maybe he has an option in mind. I'm not sure how many cards is left in his hand right now due to the fact that we don't really have a spectator system right now, so we're a little bit limited on that.
Blizzard!
Blizzard, come on.
Hero cries.
Hero cries. Yes, so anyways, just coming back to this game, Xinhuan, he has the 2-tree on the board. He does have a claw, he does have a swipe. He can by all means actually swipe the nature of the grove, whatever it's called.
Yep, swipe would be the best play here since you can clear all the threatening minions.
Yeah.
You can swipe the Keeper of the Groove and hero power to kill the Novice Engineer.
Yeah, exactly.
And 2 damage to the face.
But seems like he's just,
He still can do it though.
I mean, he's thinking. I think this pretty much is the standard play, I guess.
Maybe he's trying to save up his swipe for an Iron Bug Protector, maybe.
Yeah.
Does he have
here's
Iron
the
Bug
thing,
Protector?
though. Is he running an Iron Bug? I don't think he is.
Nope, he's running
he's not.
Ragnaros though.
But yeah, he's running Ragnar, so that could be definitely a possibility there. He's just gonna go ahead and trade. So, He's just gonna trade over there using the hero power as well. Gonna go ahead and trade against Net. Oh wait, wow! Did that just happen? He just clawed after attack. He wasted his turn. I mean, he wasted his attack.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made, my friend. Mistakes were made. So unfortunately, this isn't rollback Hearthstone. It's not gonna be able to do that. Down that goes. I mean, that's a huge race in my opinion. Out comes a huge Sunwalker though. So I guess in this kind of sense, swipe will finally be effective.
Oh, not really. You still have to break the bubble somehow.
I mean, he can hero power here and Starfire, right? So
Yes.
I mean, he did top deck
Hero
the
power and
Starfire.
Starfire would be the best choice.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he did top deck the Starfire, so he's very, very lucky in this kind of situation.
And you still get a card draw from
Exactly. I mean, more card draw is the better.
that. It's a wrath.
Yep, there we go. He gets a Wrath. He can still play the Wrath by all means if he wants, but it doesn't matter. Just trade it for the 1-2. 0-3 ain't gonna do anything to him, so it's pretty much a dead card in this board. And again, he still has board control, but of course now he's actually gonna lose the 3-1 to the hero power, but he's still eventually gonna take 2 damage.
Well, back there, right? It would be a better play to just go for face with the 3-2, because eventually, Zeys is gonna have hero power. Attack into the Fairy Dragon and sacrifice a 1-2 eventually.
Yeah. Well, Zeys himself, he plays his own Ancient Walker there, and that's a 5-10 taunt, which is unfortunately still out of range of that big game hunter, which is really, really unfortunate for him.
He
Now,
could just Starfire this turn and skip, take 5 damage, then deal with it the next turn.
I guess that is definitely a possibility. He can by all means still use the swipe if he wants. Yeah, he gets a Chillwind Yeti. Wow, Value Yeti. Now that's a card we haven't seen in a while. In fact, from all the casts, we haven't seen a
Yeti
Chillwind
before,
Yeti
yep.
yet. So that Value Yeti hasn't been out on the board yet.
Oh.
Now the problem here is just, does he swipe or?
Even if he swipe, it doesn't. Even if he swipe, it doesn't kill the Ancient of War. And if Zero top stack a Healing Touch and heals up the Ancient Wall, it will be value loss right there.
I guess that is quite the undesirable effect he wants. So
Worst case scenario.
exactly, he's thinking of a Wrath right here. Do you think he should just probably go for the Healing Touch? Because I mean, he's kind of out of options right now. He's actually gonna go for the swipe, so he's gonna do straight away the damage there. That's a 0-2 and a 5-1. Now the thing is, he can still attack face for 5 damage, and he doesn't have as much as a response. I mean, he has the ability to Wrath that and get an extra card draw, and eventually, play a Yeti and all this kind of jazz. The Ragnaros is still sitting in Z's hand right there. He doesn't want to show it just yet. The Tinkmaster Overspark is still in inventory. He's saving that for a huge card. He's going to end the turn right now. And look at that. He's
That's
out
the
of
last
cards.
card.
So I think this is probably... Yeah, I probably am going to say that Xinhuan is in the worst spot. I don't think he's probably going to get back in this game because...
I mean, wrapping for 1, you do 1 damage to yourself for fatigue.
Yeah, exactly. So his only option here is just to deal the 3 damage, but that's such a waste.
Well, he could heal up for 8 HP, but he's still losing the block. He's still lower HP than Zeys. It's not looking good for him.
Yeah, exactly. So what is he gonna do? That's the question. Is he could even? Do you think even just doing the hero power into the and then running into the Ancient of War and then Healing Touch would be a good choice?
Oh, not really. You definitely have to wrap that.
Yeah, I mean it does 5 damage and he's already in 15, so he's definitely
the
in the danger
Yeti.
zone.
I know he's gonna play Ancient of War.
Well, the Ancient of War is definitely gonna come out. It's gonna force out the Tinkmaster Overspark coming out from Zeys, and it seems like he's running out of cards soon. He actually top decks the Ancient of War of his own, and I think Zeys might actually be in a really good spot.
And there we go.
The Tinkmaster. Is it gonna be a screw?
Is it polymorph?
Oh,
No,
it's a 5-5, but he
5-5.
does have the 5 health and 5 taunt. Now that is really good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna push him down even further down. Out comes the fatigue. So Xinhuan is just in the spot where he can't do anything, and I do believe that this is pretty much going to be game. Even if he does use the Healing Touch and the Chillwind Yeti, I think he's pretty much over here. He's going to use the Healing Touch for sure. That's going to restore him back to 20 HP.
Yep.
He's still hero power in this kind of situation, but
Ultimately, it's a lost cause.
exactly. So I think he's going to just run the Devil's Sword right into the Ancient of War. There's really nothing much he can do. And then the next turn, we're going to see Ragnaros, and the thing is, he does have a big game hunter, but he's going to already have taken 8 damage to the face, if not the chill win Yeti.
Yep. I mean, even then, it's not gonna look brighter for him.
Exactly. His future is looking pretty grim with the Grim Reaper just around the corner.
Yep.
With all the fatigue, man. It's kind of insane. Let's see what he's going to do. He's actually going to run right into it because he won't know. He's thinking that he wants to run out. I mean, run in the 4-5 against the taunt, but the thing is, he does have a lot of other cards in the board. He can always just choose to ignore it.
And just go for face.
And, okay, so the final card that Zeys does draw is that Ancient of Lore. He does have the Ragnaros, but of course Big Game Hunter is in the deck there, so it will have the effect of cancelling out. But the question now is it the Ragnaros or is it okay? So it's gonna be restoring 5 health. Wow, way to add a burn on a freaking injury there. Look at the damage. I think Xinhuan knows it's probably the end here. He's probably gonna look towards the concede or maybe even try to pull out something. I mean, he can just constantly spam out his hero power and do damage. He's taken 2 damage already now, and I mean. Xinhuan.
There we go. That's GG well played right there.
I think that's probably GG's in this game. There's really nothing much he can do. He's dead in the next turn. Well played. Are we going to see the concede vote? Big Game Hunter just going to be playing for the heck of it. Ending the turn. Not going to give up just yet.
Wow.
Fatigue going to kick in there for Zeys.
Hanging it in there.
Out comes the Ragnaros though. Are we going to see the trade? Yep, he's going to... Oh wow, he's actually going to run. Yeah. So the 2-2 is going to run into it. The 5-1 as well. Are we going to see the final blast? Out comes the final attack. No, and turn and Ragnaros, baby.
Extreme overkill.
What a barbecue druid right there. Now that was an insane game. That looked so even right down the center. I mean, everything was going back and forth. Honestly, it seemed like no one really had the upper hand. It was shifting back and forth.
Yes. The power balance keeps shifting from Zeus' hand to Zeys' hands onto the opponent's hand. Keep going forward. Xinhuan going over, Zeys going over.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Zeys had the better deck.
And the better top decks.
Yep.
And yeah, he had a lot of cards. He had a lot of opportunity and a lot of responses to a lot of the cards that was being played by Xinhuan. So Xinhuan actually, it almost looked like he had the control at the very early game where he was completely dominating the board. But eventually, the perfect card draws, it opted for Zeys to get into the action there.
Well, basically for a Druid on Druid mirror match, the slower Druid will ultimately win if you get to the late game.
Yeah. Anyways, it seems like we're going to be ready for game number 2. So definitely Zeys going to earn that win over Xinhuan over there. And I do believe that's the first time he's going to win the first game.
Yep, that's the first time he wins the first game.
And out comes a Mage. Little do we know, it's a Mage here. Alright, let's see. Looking at Xinhuan's hand though, he's gonna go first, of course. He does have Argent Squire, Dark Iron, and the Pyrovas. Look at that golden Pyrovas. You can see it cooking enemies already.
Yep.
It's so golden. So here, in this kind of sense, I guess Mulligan, what he's planning to Mulligan here is the better choice?
Yes, of course, definitely.
Alright, and for Zeys' hand, he does have the Think Master Overspark, a double Novice Engineer actually, and a Starfall. So what do you think about this?
Starfall here is questionable since Mages ultimately doesn't have a lot of minions.
Right.
Most Mages go for heavy spells instead of heavy minions. Yep. So I would definitely mulligan the Starfall.
Alright, so it seems like the mulligan is only going to be in the Think Master over Spark. I see. Well, Starfall does 2 damage to all enemy minions. I guess maybe he's keeping that. It's like a cheaper Blizzard. Well, it doesn't freeze though. Yep. But anyways, here we go. Turn 1. Definitely Argent Square going to be placed on the board right there. Going to end the turn really quickly. Are we going to see a coin into Novice Engineer?
No. At this point, coining to an engineer won't be such a bad play since you have 2 engineers to play.
Yeah,
you can play them very efficiently.
Yeah, but it seems like he's just going to give up on that chance and just going to take 1 damage to the face from Xinhuan, who does, by the way, play Fairy Dragon there. Out comes the Novice Engineer for extra card draw and just going to end the turn. And now he actually top decks a Dark Iron Dwarf. Of course, he's not going to be able to play it. There is that Harvest Golem, and I think, yeah, he's definitely going to be playing it here. Do you think he's going to trade the 3-2 or just
no, not really.
I mean, there's no reason for him, right?
Yes. Because ultimately, if Zeys go for hero power into Novice Engineer to kill off the Fairy Dragon, it's a win for Xinhuan because he's ultimately sacrificing his third drop.
Yeah, that's very true.
And he's sacrificing board control.
Right. So anyways, over here it seems like Swipe's gonna come out. Just gonna deal enough damage there. He's gonna use the Novice Engineer so it gets a little bit of value there, but unfortunately the 2-1 still dropped. You still have the Argent Squire still available.
It's one card for one card.
Yeah, so it's a hassle. And look at that. He top decks a Water Elemental just to add a little bit more onto that. He's thinking of a Defender of Argus here, which
Defender of Argus will be better here, since
Yeah.
both minions won't die to the hero power.
Exactly, and it's a good con, I mean, in its own sense. It's a 3-2 and a 2-2, so
it's a very huge board presence.
Yep, so Defender of Argus is going to be the choice of play here for Xinhuan. And again, Zeys, it seems like this time around, again as well, he's very far in this early game. Are we going to see a quick comeback? Now that's the question, only time can tell. He's going to go with a Claw here and a Novice Engineer.
That was a questionable sequence play right here. Ultimately, you want to card draw before you use the spell. But what he did here, he cast Claw into another engineer, limiting the chance for him to top deck something good.
Yeah, that's true. But I think even then he wouldn't have been able to have enough mana. Like, what cards can you actually deal with that?
Well, a Wrath would be good.
Oh, that's true, exactly. Yeah, Wrath would have done it. Well, anyways, the Dark Iron will come up and it's gonna just buff up the Argent Squire. And look at that Argent Squire, man. That's a 1-drop that's now a 4-2. And it's dealing a hell lot of damage.
That values, man.
But here comes the Starfall, though. Unfortunately, it's not gonna kill a lot of the mobs. He can still trade at least with the Novice Engineer for the 3-1. So, I mean, that's still 4 damage on the board he has to deal with. And he's at 12 HP.
Z is leading in cards, but ultimately he wasted 2 of his AoE to trade for a 1 card, for a 1-to-1 value. That's not what you want in a Druid. But if you think about it in his situation, if he can get to late game, which he's obviously not going to,
yeah, I mean, like
he might win.
Yeah, he might win. But the thing is, lucky for him, Xinhuan doesn't have a any Pyroblast or Fireball, but of course you can always by all means top deck it. But unfortunately, turn 7, unless you have something like a Sorcerer's Apprentice, then that's not gonna happen. He is in fact just gonna armor up and trade a little bit there using the Wrath. There is still a 3-6 on the board, so that's probably gonna freeze his face in this next turn here and deal. Oh, look at that Pyroblast though. It seems like the inevitable end is here. Are we gonna see a Frostbolt? Yeah, I think he's gonna go Mana Worm, Frostbolt, and hit the face.
Definitely.
And maybe even yeah, he has enough mana for pink as well, right?
Yes.
So that's just gonna put him in range. Yeah, he's definitely dead in the next turn unless he draws something like a Healing Touch. But even then, he still has to deal with the board. But that's a 3-2. In fact, which is probably gonna be a 3-3 after the Pyroblast, and yeah, he's down to 1 HP, and I think Zeys is pretty much over in this one.
There will be game set and done. There is some heal, but ultimately you still have a Pyroblast.
Yeah, exactly. That Pyroblast is gonna kick him in the butt really, really hard.
Yep.
I mean, I think he knows that it's the end here for him.
Oh, he would try to struggle, right? He's not someone who will give up easily.
Exactly. Never give up, never surrender. That is.
He will definitely heal for 5.
Yeah, that's a rule. He's gonna try to heal for 5, but the thing is, on the next turn, that's Pyroblast, man. It's gonna deal a hell load of damage, and that's 10 damage to the face of this Druid, man. That's gonna be another crispy Druid right there.
Yep.
I mean, we saw Ragnaros killing him in the previous round, so I guess Xinhuan's trying to get his revenge here with that Pyroblast. Cue evil laughter.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, in this situation, even if it doesn't top deck Pyroblast, even if it heals, it still dies to
the board creatures.
Yes, board creature for 0 power.
So yeah, I mean that's gonna do it, man. Like Xinhuan, yeah, he actually won that really closely, and this time around he actually got a lot of the draws he wanted. The Mage just overpowered him. It almost felt like he didn't have enough of minions on the board. Like he never had minions on the board, to be honest.
Yeah, like I said, he ultimately has to mulligan aggressively for early game,
right?
Which he didn't.
Yeah,
he chose to keep that Starfall.
Yeah, questionable Starfall, I guess you could say. I mean, he eventually had it, but it wasn't enough. And in that kind of sense, he actually conceded the game before he got the Fire Blast and the Fireball to the face, and even fight the Fire Blast. So I guess he's just a little bit BM on that end. But anyways, it seems like we're ready to jump into a game number 2, and I think. Okay, well, I want to ask, game number 3, sorry guys, and I want to ask you, Seth, what is the deck that Zeys is probably going to go for against this Mage?
Probably a Warlock deck.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean that Warlock deck has done a lot of work for him so far in this tournament.
Now there we go. That's the Warlock.
There we go.
The YOLO lock.
Like you call it, YOLO lock indeed. So again, Chain of Brownmore versus Gul'dan, Zeys versus Xinhuan here. Final game of the group stages is gonna have to make it count very, very much. Look at this hand coming out from Xinhuan right now. He has a Fairy Dragon. He has a pretty decent curve right now.
It's a very different curves, but ultimately I will mulligan the water elemental into some removal.
Right.
Since you're facing against a Warlock with a very huge aggression, you would need to have removals.
Right, and as for Zeys' hand though, he's actually gonna mulligan already. The Voidwalker, he's gonna get a lot of 1-drop, so that's really good for him, and a Harvest Golem. And I think that this is probably a really good hand for him right now.
This is one of the best starting hand a Warlock could ask for.
Plus he has a coin, so he can always play this really quickly. I mean, flame him into something like a Young Priestess or even the Voidwalker. Maybe the Voidwalker for later would even be better.
I guess he will probably Voidwalker coin into a Flame Imp.
Right?
Yep. But he's
or do you think he should buff up the Voidwalker to be
Young
even much
Priestess
more
into Voidwalker?
Yeah, so I mean it's gonna
that
be
will be the safer play.
Yeah, it's gonna be 1-4, which is ultimately still very, very annoying to deal with. And the thing is, now that Argent Squire is definitely going to have to go and hit the face and waste his shield. He does actually top deck a Acolyte of Plane, Xinhuan that is, so he can always play that. Seems like he's just going to go for the Fairy Dragon, but in this kind of sense, do you really agree with that? I mean, like, the Young Priestess is going to have a lot of value on that card.
Yeah, I would have endured this round and just ping off that 2-1. Because the longer it stays on the board, the messier it's going to get.
Exactly, so now he's stuck in a sticky situation. Does he run the Argent Squire? Yeah, he's gonna do it. Just pop the shield, bring it down a tree. He's hoping to use the Fairy Dragon to kill it, but here's the thing. There is that 2-1 to always kill off that 3-2 creature, and guess what? It's a Blood Imp that comes on the board. So now that's giving even much more value towards his card, and now that Fairy Dragon is not gonna kill it. He can even run the Young Priestess right in. Well, maybe not the Young Priestess because he can always still get pinged.
Yep.
So, but I guess he can just go for face and don't really give a shit about the
definitely,
about the 1-1.
Definitely go for face. Well, so, you could 1-4 kill off the 1-1. And then 2-2 go for face. That would be the safest play. Yep.
Yeah, so he's gonna go ahead and use that because he knows that the taunt is only gonna be able to kill that. I mean, not the taunt, sorry, the Fairy Dragon.
Oh, he's gonna trade.
Seems like he's thinking of trading. I would keep it because, I mean, getting much more HP value in this game, it just feels like a card gets so much more buff.
Well, here's his consideration, because the Fairy Dragon poses a very huge threat to any of his removals since it's immune to spells and hero ability.
Yep.
So that is that temptation there to kill off the drag immediately.
Yeah, but it seems like he's just gonna opt out of it. He definitely knows he can't play the Acolyte of Pain here. He's just gonna go ahead and kill the taunt. And now he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, does he play the Acolyte of Plane that's ultimately gonna die really quickly to the Flame Imp?
Well, I would still play the Acolyte of Pain. Even then, a 3-3 that gets you a card draw, a 1-3 that gets you a card draw is still value on itself.
I guess, yeah, that's definitely true. But look at this. Just to add even much more, there's a Defender of Argus there, and he's now finally going to use the Harvest Golem. He knows that he doesn't need the Blood Imp anymore. I guess that's kind of a questionable play in a sense, but
yes.
because there is that Fireball, I mean, I would have just kept the Blood Imp and gotten rid of the
I mean, even then, you should ram the Flame Imp into the Acolyte Pen before sacrificing a Blood Imp. That way you get 1 more HP out of your Blood Imp.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So, seems like value was a little bit lost there, but of course, the Priestess, look at that. Kind of
value redeemed.
Exactly. Can I get a refund, sir? Yes, you can. There is okay, now the thing is, he has a Fireball up and running if he wants to do that, but I guess he wants to pair that up with the Mana Worm. The Pyroblast is already in his hand there, so I guess maybe he's probably even thinking of playing the Water Elemental.
Water Elemental will be a greedy play in my opinion, because you're ultimately hoping that he has nothing to cast. Yeah, that's not gonna work out for you, bro.
Well, the thing is, for Zeys, he doesn't have anything to cast except the Thinkmaster Overspark, which could be quite a risk here, and I think he might be even thinking about it, but I guess he wants to save it for a bigger creature.
It's definitely going for the Argus Defender. Yes, in the middle of the Bloody Imp, and yep.
There we
can
go.
Trade off that Water Element for free, or even go for face. Because it doesn't kill anything.
Yeah, Water Element is, there we go. He's gonna trade for face. Look at that Young Priestess with the 2 damage, man. Buff up. There we go. Defender of Argus getting another. That's 2 3/4s and 1 4/4 and a 2-1 on the board currently for Zeys. I mean, it seems like this time around the tables have turned. Zeys is definitely in that early game lead against Xinhuan right now. And Xinhuan, I mean, he does have the Mana Worm, he does have a Frostball and a Fireball as well. The Arching Commander is there in his inventory. Well, not inventory, sorry. I keep saying inventory, what the hell. I mean, the card in his hand, so there's a lot of things he can do. What do you think is the best choice here?
Ping off the 2-1, man. You gotta kill that shit.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you there. I mean, the taunts can always be gotten rid of, but that Priestess is just giving him his cards even much more value.
Too much value, man. Look at that.
Yeah, every turn, and it's really hurting him a lot right now. It seems like he's gonna go for the Fireball onto a taunt, I believe. Yeah, it's gonna kill off the Flame Imp. I guess. I think that probably wasn't the best play because
that was a bad play.
Yeah, because now the thing is, he can run his Argus right into the tree
without even dying.
I mean, the thing is, of course, there is always that hero ping coming up from Jaina, but the thing is, what if he gets added HP coming back from the Priestess? You get value redeem, and look at that, a top decked Blood Imp. It's just making things worse for Xinhuan right now. Look at that. He only has the Pyroblast and the Frostball. His only hope now is to probably just keep blasting him in the face.
Well, he does have one Blizzard coming up. They haven't drew yet.
I guess. I mean, he could hope for a top deck Blizzard, and that would probably save him a lot in this game because that
would redeem a huge amount of value.
Yeah, I mean, he kills off 3 creatures, or maybe even. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Yeah, even trade with the.
I think I would trade. I would trade the Argus definitely. I mean, for the 3/3. I mean, that just seems like the logical choice in my opinion here for Zeys. He does have the Leper Gnome as well, still available. It seems like he doesn't really give them. He's just gonna go ahead and aim for face. Now the thing is, it's still a good play nonetheless because Priestess of the Moon. Let's see, who is he gonna buff? He buffed up the. Oh, he buffed up the Leper Gnome. That's a 2/2 Leper Gnome, guys, for a 1 mana cost.
A 1 mana 2/2.
Now let's see.
Now that's some value right there.
Exactly. Now a couple of PMs there over there on the player booth. Now he has a couple of choices. He does have to charge, but it's not gonna help him ultimately in this game.
Basically, this is game over. This is game match and set.
Okay, let's just say the worst case scenario. Like if he does run his creatures into the mobs right here, what is the best thing he can do right now?
No, it's definitely not that.
Yeah. I mean, he did. Okay, so he makes his Frostworm now a 3/3 and spawns out a 2/2, which means he's still gonna deal damage to himself. In fact, he just deals damage to himself with the 2/2.
Now he kills him.
Now he kills the Priestess, which is very questionable. He does now play the Harvest Golem, but of course he's gonna take 5 damage in the next turn, and well, the Blood Imp here, it's a 1/2, and. Oh,
here he comes!
Leroy
Jenkins!
Look at that! Power overwhelming on top of that. Look at that charge and boom!
Game match and set.
Exactly. There we go. That's going to be the second game going in Z's favor. He won 2 games against Xinhuan. He did drop a game, but I got to say that was a very, very good series.
Well, they do have some questionable plays here and there, but yep, it was very entertaining overall.
I mean, eventually they did kind of make it work out in the end, so I guess you could say that though questionable, it was a very entertaining match nonetheless because there was a lot of things happening all across the board.
Let me just say this, MVP Young Priestess.
MVP Young Priestess for sure, and I think that Young Priestess, let it be known, ladies and gentlemen, when you wellman a Young Priestess, please by all means Fireball or Fire Blasting if you're a mage, because that will give other cards so much value, which we saw in that game. That was just so insane. I can't believe that actually happened, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, it shouldn't happen in any circumstances, man. They gotta kill it before it lays eggs.
Yeah, he left it on the board for so long, and it just secured him a huge win, especially with such, well, I guess you could say it's kind of an aggro lock, or a mid kind of ish aggro lock in a sense.
Well, it is turn 6 kill.
Yeah, I mean, power overwhelming plus that what's it called?
Leroy.
I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Leroy. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this game so far for the group stages. we'll be back again with you for sure. I do believe it's going to be the winner brackets later.
Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah, so do stay tuned, guys. We'll be back with even much more Hearthstone action. We'll see you guys right there.